All right, everybody, we've got a packed agenda today. Welcome to the 5,415th meeting of this fabulous Rotary Club. It's great to be with all of you today and to see this packed house. I hope you all enjoyed the slideshow once again today, and joining us is Elaine Sullivan, who wrote the lyrics for the Rotary version of the karaoke rendition. So thank you, Elaine. I don't see you, but thank you. Welcome to our Rotarians and guests, and a very special thank you for our greeting line. All right, guys, which was the Culinary and Hospitality Committee that's chaired by Cindy Faulkner. I don't think I've seen a bigger committee. Lots of good times and fun I can tell they have there. So let's get started with Nicholas Adams leading us in song. Thank you, Nicholas.
Thank you, Madam President. Would you please all stand and join in singing? You all know the words. Thank you. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam, God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. You're an excellent voice today.
Nicely done, thank you. All right, Jeff Fisher is celebrating his birthday today, so a very happy birthday to Jeff. I'm going to ring my bell again, guys. You jumped, Trisha. Sorry about that. So since we are dark next week, we have 2 slides of birthdays today, since we won't be together in person next week. So as always, please be sure to wish your fellow Rotarians, members of your chosen family, a very happy birthday. And now it's time for guest introductions. We have Johnny Camus, Red Badger, and we have Carrie Benjamin is being replaced by Megan Tennisketter today. So nice to see you both. If you could take a brief moment to introduce yourselves.
Thank you, President
Megan?
Karen. I'm Megan Tennisketter, CEO of Tennisketter Construction, and my sponsors are Arthur Weisbrot and John Ball.
Wonderful. Johnny.
Johnny Camus, former council member, City of San Jose, and I'm now at Community Bank of the Bay, which just opened, and I was sponsored by Catherine Tompkinson.
Wonderful, and congratulations on the new position. A reminder that we'll be going clockwise to make it easier for our Zoomers, so please stand if you have a guest. And Megan, if we could start up here with Steve, that would be great. Steve Ellenberg.
Hi, President Karen. Steve Ellenberg, Law Practice Litigation. I think we still do that. And I'm pleased to be here with the matriarch of our family, my mother, Maureen Ellenberg.
Maureen. We love families. So nice to have you here.
Madam President, Brian Adams, Classification Education, Bellman College Prep, and it's my pleasure for the 5th time to introduce my guest, Kim Hill, who's a professor at Santa Clara University and chair of the Department of Theater and Dance.
Welcome, Kim. Matt.
Hello, President Karen. Matt Breaker, District Attorney's Office. I have 2 great guests today. First, my lovely wife, Sid, and our son, future Rotarian, Max Breaker.
So nice to see you both.
Hi,
Yes.
President Karen. Julie Matsushima, past president. I would like to introduce the love of my life, my husband, Bruce Noonan. Stand up.
All right, Bruce.
Retired systems engineer in the defense sector.
We are so happy for you, and being in their presence, you can feel the love and the care and the kindness, and we're just so happy for you, Julie. Nice to have you, Bruce. Yes, Bonnie.
President Karen, Bonnie Bamberg, Historic Preservation Consulting, and my sponsor was Jim D'Amico. And I have a really dear friend and guest today, Joan Escobar, who's the president and owner of JP Graphics. Now, JP Graphics, I have to tell you, is probably the most humongous printing operation I've ever seen in my life. So please welcome her.
A very warm welcome to you.
Hi.
Hi.
Michelle Loxon, Boys and Girls Clubs of Silicon Valley. My guest today is Chelsea Souza. She is the Chief Development Officer over at Pivotal. She is a dear friend, a colleague in the profession of development, and hopefully will be a fellow Rotarian soon.
Tiny drum roll. All right. Thank you for joining us. Steve.
Madam President, Steve Prouty. My sponsor was Shirley Lewis, and don't get a chance to think of
May she
say
rest in
Shirley's name
peace.
often enough. So, yeah. My guest today is my wife, Kathy Prouty.
All right. The better half. Nice to meet you. Judge Arthur, did you have a guest? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
This is a famous architect, Ed Janicki, who's, thank you very much, who is my guest today, and thank you for reminding me.
Nice
I'm
to have
getting
you.
old, you know.
We have each other's backs in Rotary. Thank you, thank you. All right, now it's the exciting time in the program where 7 of our red badgers are getting their blue badge today. So if you are one of them, please start making your way up here. Bunny, all right, you're on the move. You've done a tremendous job on the program committee, Bunny, and we're so happy to have you. All right, friends. Come on up. We don't have to do it in order. So proud of you, and then we'll pose for a picture right after this. David, and thank you for the email that you sent me. I really wanted to talk to you about that. I really appreciated the perspective, so thank you for that. Bunny. Thank you so much. Do you want to kiss? I love your band, by the way. Sure. So nice to see you. Boy, we got a lot of coverage from your nonprofits, right? Nice to see you, Tom. There you go. Yes, please. We're going to recycle these for new Red Badge members. Josh, nice to have you. And then we'll pose for a picture over here. I can't believe it's going to be here. I know. That's crazy. All right. I didn't forget my duties, Jason. Okay. Everybody gather. Do we need Catherine's a straggler? All right. Thank you. We love that. That's such an exciting time. And Sherrod, thank you for being our title sponsor at the gala last year. That was something very special. All right, Dave Davis, come on up and let's have an update. And by the way, a big thank you to the foundation for pouring that holiday joy today during our reception. Take it away.
Okay, here we go. And actually, let's go back. So I'm here today to talk about the annual giving campaign. It's Thanksgiving. You're all feeling like giving and being thankful. And a very important person in my life, we were talking about this morning at home. And here's my encouragement to you, and I might be borrowing it from my wife, Jean. In a world where you can be anything, be a light on this cloudy day, and give and remember, you are the light to someone who you'll never meet, just like sunshine. So there you go. So think about that. Now, the cool thing, we're going to go to the next page, and we have a QR code for you. So right now, you can do it right now. You have it on your table. You can sign up and give simply by pulling this out, aiming it at that, and you can make your donation. So as you know, this is our annual campaign. We're only going to talk to you about it about another 6 weeks. So once the new year starts, we're focusing on other things. But if you think about it, we've got some big things that we support every year. And get that up there. So on the 29th, don't miss that meeting because we're announcing who the community grant recipients are. You want to be here. It's exciting. We had 260,000 in requests, and we're giving away $200,000. And that's the most we've ever given to community in any one year. So be proud and join in. Okay, a couple of ways you can give. You all have financial advisors, you pay taxes. A lot of us, based on our age, probably have IRAs. You can, you have to do a required minimum distribution. That's for the lucky people that are in their 70s. And so one of the things you can do is do a direct donation out of your IRA straight to the Rotary Foundation. It's not, then what happens is it's not taxable. You don't get the donation deduction, but it's all a wash. But it's a great way to reduce future tax liability. Okay. Question? Okay, so a cool thing is 53% of this year's foundation budget, you can see the number, $287,000, comes from this source, which is the permanent endowment. And it underwrites things like admin costs, the community grants, the committee grants, President Karen's special project, next big project. So we have a good endowment, and then what you're doing is adding to it and keeping us going. Next, so far, if you look around at your table, 33% of you have signed up and gotten your green dot. So you want to just keep in mind that what the request is $400, but we're not going to stop. If you can only do 200, then do 200. You can do 100, do 100. But we really want you to participate. What you're saying?
Every Rotarian, every year, we have a 100% participation goal.
There you go. So please consider that and join in. This is really your opportunity to make a mark on the things that we do throughout the community, and don't miss this opportunity. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you. But seriously, please, please, please give, even if it's a smaller amount than the 400, as Dave said. It's really important to me and to the foundation and to Rotary International that we have a 100% giving rate this year. And because a little peer pressure never hurts, we'll be looking to see if you too have the green sticker. And remember that gifts to the Rotary Foundation create lasting and meaningful change, both in communities here and far beyond. So please give generously. Come on up from Earth Day, past President Adams. Let's go with that, Brian Adams.
How soon they forget. Doesn't take long. Hi, everyone. How's it going? Happy Mirth Day. It's Mirth Day. So I've been thinking, you know, we're entering the holiday season, and everyone already is in the Christmas spirit, in the Christmas mode, and it's like, really? I mean, you know, retail shops started selling ornaments right next to Independence Day flags. I mean, really? You know what? You know what gets gypped? Thanksgiving. Yes. Right? Thanksgiving, we're not even there yet. We're just a couple weeks, next week already. So I also thought that Thanksgiving kind of gets gypped even when it comes to, there's no Thanksgiving carols per se, not a lot of Thanksgiving poems and such, and I know that the holiday season is not embraced by everyone. You know who really does not embrace this time of year? Turkeys. So with apologies to Clement Moore, I thought I'd put together a little Thanksgiving poem. It goes something like this. 'Twas nearly Thanksgiving, and all through the farm, turkeys were nervous. They had heard the alarm. The days were numbered for some of these fowl. Their fate on a plate, a tasty butterball. With pleas that more vegans would come onto the scene, these turkeys had plans, and here's what I mean. They'd go on strike like the writers and actors. It worked for those groups, so the birds sat on tractors. Some carried big signs. Yeah, that's the ticket. It was a protest after all, so the fences were picket. These birds were quite large. They had been very well fed. The sign simply urged folks to eat ham instead. One made its escape, but like it or not, a chef used a net and the turkey was caught. When the chef asked, "What now?" while seated on his tuffet,
An angry rancher exclaimed, "It's a turkey, just stuff it." Thank you.
Oh, my God. You have a very special talent. Thank you so much for that time and effort. And you're right, Thanksgiving does get the shaft. It's never really celebrated between Halloween and Christmas. Past President Karen, come on up for our special ceremony. Something really exciting that's only happened 3 other times in our club's history. Take it away.
Thank you, President Karen. So, we have only identified 3 honorary Rotarians in the history of our club. And that was Cindy George, Mary Ann Salas, and Bobby George. Extraordinary people who have given their time, treasure, and talent to this club year after year after year. Well, on President Karen's behalf, I have the privilege today to announce another such person. And let me just give you a few points about this honorary Rotarian. This person has traveled the world for Rotary causes and conventions. This person has donated time to raising money for Rotary causes, has been an ambassador for Rotary causes, has been an enthusiastic bidder at the Rotary Gala, has always selected doctors, lawyers, businesses, Joseph George, from the Rotary Directory, has always enjoyed Rotary festivities and never misses the Thanksgiving program, and has obviously given one son a good sense of humor. She's been a member of Rotacare and Rotoplas committees, which she helped found about 1982 with her husband, Dr. Sandy Ellenberg. This note of appreciation is long overdue. Maureen Ellenberg.
You want to say a brief
I'll just say, well, this was a total surprise, and my son fooled me. And I'm very happy that I can do this, and if I live another 11 years, I'll be 100.
Oh, wow. Congratulations. That's great. All right. Come on up, Steve. That was lovely. Take it away.
Pull it together, Steve. Thanks for that huge round of applause. That was very touching. I mean, I knew it was happening, but thank you, Karen. I was very moved. President Karen gave me 5 minutes to do this. I asked my mom about it, and she said, take as long as you need. Not my fault. So this is the time of year, and I'm glad this has become such a great tradition for our family to once again honor my father's memory by presenting the Sandy Ellenberg Humanitarian Award this year to 2 Rotarians. As many of you know, my father, Sandy Ellenberg, was a Rotarian for many years, and he loved this club. He started the Rotoplas Committee and personally performed hundreds of cleft lip and cleft palate surgeries in Central and South America. The award comes with a $5,000 contribution to Rotary from my mother, Maureen. My father was a firm believer in education. He was the first person in his family to attend college, and with my mom's assistance as an elementary school teacher, he was able to graduate from medical school and become a surgeon. They would later endow a scholarship at their alma mater, UC Berkeley. Go Bears. It is my parents' commitment to education that I honor today with this year's dual awardees, who together honored the memory of their friend, another legendary Rotarian, by developing, fundraising, and leading the efforts to build the Roy Russell Elementary School in Vietnam, Mike Conniff and Tu Do. Why don't you come up? Come on up.
Give me a hug.
Okay. Now, let me say a few things. First, let me tell you about the school. It is located in Na Pon Commune, Vietnam. For those of you who, like me, are unfamiliar with the geography of Vietnam, the school is a 2-day white-knuckle road trip from Hanoi into the mountainous regions of Vietnam. As a result of Tu and Mike's efforts and inspiration, Rotary and VN Help built 4 new classrooms, a multifunction room for a library and recreational activities and restrooms. Rotary also renovated 3 existing severely damaged classrooms. Tim Gill, one of the 12 Rotarians who attended the opening, described the former school as a shack that has now been replaced by a beautiful facility that is the centerpiece of the community. The school serves 204 ethnic minority students from 1st to 5th grade and opened in August of 2002. Let me also say a few things about our honorees. Tu is a first-generation American who immigrated from Vietnam in 1979 by boat at age 19. She, like me and my mother and father, also graduated from Cal, this time in 1984 with a computer science degree. She founded VN Help in 1991 and left her business career in 2006 to become CEO of the organization. VN Help has built over 70 schools in Vietnam. It also provides assistance in the form of scholarships, public health clinics, water quality projects, and microfinance. Mike is a 1968 graduate of Cal. There's 3 old blues standing before you. Before putting his career in jeopardy by getting his MA and PhD from the Junior University in Palo Alto. Hey, it's big game week. Mike spent 2 years in Guayaquil, Ecuador, as a Peace Corps volunteer doing urban community development. Mike joined the San Jose State faculty in 2002, where he created and directed the Global Studies program and served as a professor of history in Panama, specializing in Panama and Brazil. Mike accompanied his good friend Roy Russell to Vietnam in 2006 to deliver wheelchairs as part of another Rotary program. One of the things I like to do to prepare for this award is to talk to close friends or colleagues about the honoree. I took a chance this year and spoke with Tu about Mike and Mike about Tu, hopefully not giving away that they would be sharing the award. One thing that Mike and Tu had in common was their generosity towards each other. They each responded enthusiastically that the other was so deserving of this award. Tu credited Mike for initiating the idea of honoring Roy by building the school. She characterized Mike as the team leader and was in awe of his energy throughout their trip to Vietnam, including the grueling travel to the school from Hanoi. Mike described Tu as a treasure. He credited her with organizing the project and bringing Rotary to the and bringing not only Rotary to the school, but bringing Vietnamese culture to both Rotary and our greater community. Mike marveled at TWO's relentless efforts to improve the lives of people here and in Vietnam, observing that she and Roy had built many schools together and expressing amazement at her ability to get working on another project immediately after returning from opening the Roy Russell School. Mike and TWO, the admiration you express for each other is matched by the appreciation our Rotary Club has for you. It is my pleasure to present both of you with this year's Sandy Ellenberg Humanitarian Award.
Thank you
For
so
my-
much. This is great. Thank you so much.
You really did.
Take a picture, I guess. Fantastic. Thank you so much.
That was amazing. I think we'll all agree it was worth going over a few minutes, so I hope you'll indulge us for an extra 3 or 4 minutes today, because we always listen to moms, and when she said you take as long as you need, then we did just that. Just tremendous, and thank you for keeping it all in the family and for honoring your dad. That just is a wonderful testament to the gift of Rotary and the power of family. So it's President's time now. 3 upcoming events, 4 highlights, and 1 Rotary family update. Number 1, thank you, IT, for moving the slides. Don't forget about the holiday luncheon on December 13th. You do need to buy tickets in advance, and there is a table in the lobby to do so. There's also a QR code, and it's also a reminder in our Friday bulletin. So please join us for fun, festivities, and crazy holiday sweaters. And then, of course, this Sunday, you can sleep in and then join us at Calero Park at 11 a.m. for an easy, mellow 5-mile hike, followed by a picnic lunch. If you're interested in participating, please RSVP to Ashley, which you can see her email there on that slide. And our Fun and Friendship Committee is at it again, and this year I'll be hosting the 9th annual Christmas in the Park event at the 88, just right over there in the 5th floor entertainment lounge. It's an evening of spirited fun. We have great hot chocolate, snacks, desserts, wine, music, and fellowship. And usually it goes too long and we miss walking over to Christmas in the Park, but sometimes we do both. We have a great time. Please join us. You don't need to bring anything but yourselves, but it would be very helpful if I had your name in advance for security purposes at the front door. So don't forget to sign up. And then I really want to highlight some of the pictures you saw in the opening slideshow about the Veterans Day Parade. A special shout out to Military Care Committee chairs, Catherine Tompkinson, who couldn't be here with us today, as well as Robert Davis. Their committee put on an outstanding event at the parade on Saturday, and while many people deserve to be thanked, Red Badger Nicole Leckler from the Capitol Club opened up the Capitol Club at 6 a.m. so that she could brew coffee, even though it's typically closed at that time. She was assisted by able-bodied Red Badgers, Megan Tennisketter and Fred Buzo, who are up and early rising as well. And several people contributed to the success of this event, but Michelle Mann, Alan Williams, Maggie Padavani, Tim Gill, and the newest recruit, Pat Riley, went above and beyond. So thank you to everybody who showed up on Saturday to celebrate those who've given so much for us. And very exciting, our Rotary Club received the City Council's Veteran Day Commendation, which was presented by Red Badger Bien Don, our City Council member, for recognizing the Rotary Club of San Jose and all of the efforts of our military committee. So thank you, Robert Davis. I see you there, and for everybody else. A gentle reminder about Wreaths Across America, which is another endeavor for the Military Care Committee, where they're partnering with a nonprofit to place wreaths for the holiday on veterans' graves. We need 20 volunteers or more to join us the morning of December 16th. To do that, we hope you will consider it. There's a sign-up table in the lobby. And for context, Wreaths Across America placed 2.7 million wreaths at 3,700 locations in 2022 alone. So December 16th, mark your calendars, it'll be a good time. Directory photos are taking place once again in the lobby on the 29th of November. Gentle reminder, we're dark next week. And then a fun update that actually highlights the work of our 2 award recipients. We just received a global grant update noting that our final report has been accepted for providing rice transplanters to farmers to improve productivity. Prior to our Rotary project, people were still using, they were cultivating paddy rice crops per year with traditional methods, such as plowing fields with buffaloes and transplanting by hand. With this new machinery, we are able to lift people out of poverty, particularly women and the elderly who are responsible for these tasks. So a special thank you to Project Chair Mike Conniff, Tudo, the grant writer, Sandra Gill, the International Service Committee member, and Terry Chapman, the board director. Really great work. Thank you for that effort. I have my fork. So, a Rotary family update. Excuse me for a minute. Our Marie has been diagnosed with invasive breast cancer, and it is in her lymph nodes, but the good news is a PET scan revealed that it hasn't migrated to other parts of our body, her body, excuse me. She has a port inserted today. She starts chemo next week, and that will be followed by surgery. So you won't be seeing Marie for a while, several months. Please, please, please keep her in your thoughts and your prayers. She gave me permission to share this with you because she needs our support, and she's part of our family. So please be thinking about Marie, and please also be cognizant that there will be a little short-staffed. So please be gentle in your request to Leslie and to Teresa. We're all going to do the best we can to support Marie and make sure that we're as seamless as possible as we move forward. So I think I just made myself bleed, but that's okay. Yes, Ed.
Will there be some kind of notice of where we can send cards?
Yes, yes, there will be. And also, we'll put some cards out on the 29th around like we typically do, but we'll also provide instructions if you'd like to send one on your own. Thank you, Ed. And who knows, maybe after the turn of the year, we'll start some sort of food delivery system or something, because I know we all love and support Marie, and she has 3 young children, well, teenagers, and she cares for her mother. So we're talking about somebody who cares for us, cares for her family, extended and otherwise, so she really needs us. So thank you for your thoughts and prayers there. Lenore, let's talk about being grateful. Sorry about that. And thank you for continuing your father's legacy of this wonderful program. Come on up and take it away. Sorry about that.
Hi, welcome to the Bob Kieve Thanksgiving program where we celebrate gratitude. Before we start, I'd like to share a little bit of data with you. Studies have shown that feeling thankful can improve sleep, mood, and immunity, as well as decrease depression, anxiety, difficulties with chronic pain, and risks of disease, according to the Mayo Clinic. If a pill could do this, everyone would be taking it, Mayo said in a blog post. Your brain is designed to problem solve rather than appreciate, so we often have to override this design to reap the benefits of gratitude. So now, practicing their gratitude, we will hear from 11 of our fellow Rotarians. Starting us off this year is Yvonne Montes de Oca.
I'm grateful and so very glad to be alive. I have many blessings to be thankful for, but quite often, like everyone else, I tend to overlook a very basic one: life. This precious energy, this vital force that allows us to feel, to experience aliveness. If we're paying attention, this life we're given, every moment of it, is a magnificent gift. So on this Thanksgiving. I want to express gratitude for this intangible, sublime, miraculous, and irreplaceable life of mine, my long and well-lived life, that although it hasn't been free of pain or strife, it has offered me opportunities to learn, to grow, to love deeply, to create, and hopefully to gain some wisdom. I'm grateful for a life blessed with wonderful friends. And here I feel that it's right to remember a man who influenced us and was a friend to us all, Bob Kieve. I'm grateful for his extraordinary friendship. He taught us all, how to live with purpose, integrity, and joy. I'm grateful for role models like Bob that inspire us to live fully, intentionally, to live passionately, and especially in these times, to live courageously. I'm now going to leave you with the closing of a poem by Mary Oliver, who challenges us to answer a provocative question. In her poem, The Summer Day, she asks, "Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life?" Thank you.
Got to get the right distance from the microphone. I got engaged in April. I swear I never thought this day would come. It took me a long time to accept myself, and when I started dating men in my 30s, I really struggled to connect. But almost 9 years ago, I asked a handsome man to dance, and we've been together ever since. 6 years ago, we were on a tour in China, and I had the sense that this was the man I wanted to spend the rest of my life with. In fact, I remember the exact moment I was sure. We were finishing up a Chinese cooking class where we each cooked a 5-course meal for ourselves. And his little plate of garlic and eggplant was much darker and tasted a lot better than mine. And I realized I'd forgotten to add the oyster sauce. Without even thinking, he took his plate, dumped it on top of mine, used his chopsticks to mix the two together, and then divided it into two again. So at the end of that trip, I proposed, but he wasn't ready at that point, and I felt like we had a connection though, so I've been patient, and in April, we were back in Japan, and back in Asia, and he surprised me by proposing to me. So we're getting married in May. Thank you.
I see Judge Weisbrot roaming around with a fork. I might need it. This year was both the hardest and the easiest to be grateful for so many things. My dad passed away in April, but truly unexpected were so many childhood friends that I thought had forgotten us. They came out out of the woodwork for the memorial, and I'm so grateful. In May, with mixed emotions, I decided to leave my job and invest in a sabbatical to write a book. Again, truly unexpected were cheers and support from my favorite volunteers and bestie colleagues. I'm so grateful. When big pieces move in your life, it sometimes reveals hidden issues that need to be taken care of, like boulders coming down, causing a landslide. One can panic, or one can restabilize the system. I'm grateful that my natural wiring opts for the latter. In July, my sabbatical shifted to an unplanned odyssey into the realm of major medical. My colon was perforated during a colonoscopy. I was sent home with antibiotics. 3 days later, I was addressing an audience in a beautiful hotel conference room for my first paid speaking gig on my book that was barely in outline form. A friend believed so much in my framework that she got me the gig. I was so grateful. A few hours later, I was riding in an ambulance to Marin General, raging infection, winning over antibiotics. I was an hour away from a surgery that would have removed a large section of my colon and left me with a colostomy bag. My colonoscopy surgeon intervened, asked me to take a nice $10,000 ambulance ride back to Sutter Health in San Francisco, averting the surgery and saving my colon. I'm so grateful. During a scan at the hospital, a peach-sized mass was found in my ovary. I was introduced to my gynecologist oncologist. I say that with such a smile on my face, as if that's anything we ever want to hear. He told me he'd need to remove the ovary, and the other ovary, and my uterus, everything, in fact, and including an appendix at the same time. That was in August. Not grateful. There was internal bleeding from the appendectomy that wasn't stopping. I had a blood transfusion. I was in the ICU for 4 days, and it wasn't looking good. At one point, a doctor asked me, "Who can make decisions for you?" All in all, I spent 30 days in hospitals and just as many bedridden at home, but I couldn't be more grateful standing here today. The pathology in that mass came back clean, and those large boulders that shifted and caused a landslide, need that fork. I had a treasure trove of friends that I had no idea of the depths. You guys all came out, you sent flowers and cards. Think of Marie, send those cards and flowers. It saved me, and I'm standing here alive today. Thank you. So grateful.
That is really hard to follow, Heather, but I'm so glad you're okay. With Thanksgiving approaching, I am very grateful for a remarkable turn of events. In April, I bought my husband a 5.5-month-old caisson puppy named Dexter. Unlike the TV serial killer Dexter, our Dexter is affectionate. He loves everyone, but he does love to destroy his stuffed animals. Unfortunately, at 8 months old, his health plummeted. He stopped eating, he became incontinent, and the vet's diagnosis was crushing: terminal renal failure with weeks only to live. We sought a second opinion from a renowned specialist who confirmed the grim prognosis. Bracing for the worst, we were in for a shock. Dexter, his health astoundingly improved, and subsequent tests revealed no trace of renal failure. The vets were so amazed that Dexter became a celebrity, a local celebrity at his clinic. Not only did he survive, he thrived, and he just recently celebrated his first birthday. Dexter's healing superpowers even affected our other 2 dogs. Our elderly Luna partially regained her hearing, and Sky, who had a chronic alopecia due to depression, regrew all her fur. This Thanksgiving, I'm so thankful for Dexter's unexpected recovery. It reminds me to cherish life's blessings and appreciate the unexpected joys that can come our way.
Two of my favorite things are cooking and my job as a prosecutor. And I owe both the interest and the opportunity to one person, Mr. Rod Marasini. Rod moved in next door to my parents when I was 3. About Rod: he's a real macho Italian guy with a heart of gold. He grew up in Oakland, was the first in his family to go to college. He went to Cal on a boxing scholarship. Then Hastings Law School, worked himself as a prosecutor briefly, and then opened his own very successful private practice. Rod is also a master chef. He can make a delicious midweek meal or a gourmet dinner worthy of a Michelin star. When I was about 8, he called up my folks and he said, "I'm making homemade raviolis. Why don't you join us for dinner? And send over young Matthew for some cooking and swearing lessons." So over I went. I met with Rod regularly for cooking and swearing lessons well into my 20s. Together we made homemade pastas, ossobuco, and fresh abalone that he himself caught. It was always fun and always delicious. Shortly after meeting my future wife, I wanted to cook her dinner. So who did I consult for menu and recipes? Well, Rod Marasini, of course. In college, I decided I wanted to go to law school. As always, Rod was encouraging and supportive. He told me, "You must become a prosecutor. It's the best job on the planet. It's public service, the thrill of going to trial, and working with like-minded people who care about justice, hard work, and having fun." He was right on all accounts. He helped me get my first job. Before graduation, he called me up and he said, "I've set up a lunch for you to meet the number 2 at the DA's office." On the way there, he said, "Feel free to order a drink, but please, not one of those you like with an umbrella. Stick to whiskey or beer." After I was hired and signed my first case for trial, who did I consult for help with trial strategy and preparation? Rod Marasini, of course. Rod is now 80 years old, still lives next door to my parents, still practices a little law, and is still a great chef. He has been a wonderful neighbor and friend to my parents and mentor to me. He is the personification of a very good man, and I'm grateful he is in my life. Thank you, Rod.
A few weeks ago, a dear friend, Charlie McCullum, approached me with a gentle suggestion. "You've got a lot to be grateful for, Megan, and you should speak at the Thanksgiving program." My arm still hurts a little, but he's totally right. I do have a lot to be grateful for. However, if you found my self-indulgence trite, you can blame Charlie. For almost all my life, starting from my earliest memories, I felt like I lived in a cloudy haze. Stringing sentences together was a challenge. My ability to focus was a constant battle, and I generally felt anxious, sick, and in physical pain. What I didn't know for most of my life is that I have celiac disease and ADHD. Celiac is caused by an abnormal immune system reaction when you eat gluten. It damages your small intestine, reduces nutrient absorption, is linked to a whole host of mental health issues, among a long list of other symptoms. And girls with ADHD often go underdiagnosed until their late 30s and early 40s. I'm here to share that 2023 has been one of the best years of my life. With all of the damage that I've done to my gut, a lot more foods other than gluten don't sit right with me. And this past January, I worked with an amazing doctor to find out about the foods that fuel me and the foods that hurt me. Up until last year, I was in pain almost every day, and this year I've only been in pain a few days. And this past spring, I was diagnosed with and finally started to get treatment for ADHD. There are so many resources out there, and my family and friends have been so supportive as I've fully embraced my quirkiness. For the first time in my life, I feel healthy, and I feel at peace with who I am. And that's something to be grateful for.
January 9th, 2021, I climbed aboard a school bus with 6 chickens, 2 goats, 1 duck, and 3 of my buddies who lived in our amazing neighborhood, and I left behind a life I had known for 17 years in Chicago. The hardest part about leaving was actually all of those incredible neighbors. Sometimes I miss Chicago, but I really miss the neighbors. Shortly after moving into our home, while taking a walk in the field with our puppies, Elton and Emery, I met a couple of our new neighbors through the fence, Lori and her husband Remington. Lori quickly fell in love with all of our animals, and we quickly fell in love with her. She would greet the dogs with hugs and snacks, and she was always capturing adorable moments on the farm with her incredible photography. She shares baked goodies with us, and we share well water with her. With their penchant for finding holes in fences, these 2 livestock guardian dog puppies introduced me to a lot of my neighbors: Kira, JF, Coy, Ann, Toby, Catherine, Renee, Connie, Faye, YL, Penny, Bob, Val, Kim, Jorge, and Daryl. The list goes on, though. One of those neighbors lives right across the hill and happens to be 4 decades my senior. I began to pop by whenever I saw Art sitting on his driveway, and over the months, I spent more and more time just hanging out and chatting with him. We would grab breakfast at a Bite of Wyoming, and many evenings he would send me home with a plate of leftovers. Then I just began eating at his dinner table and watching TV on his couch. He always has homemade pie or cake or ice cream, and there's always a cold beer in the fridge. I can honestly say, Art is my best friend. But we also have two neighbors who would walk by in the morning with their hand weights and stop to give a treat to the ponies, goats, and the dogs. Mike Conniff and his wife Ann Fountain always shared a friendly wave, and we would chat whenever the moment came up. One day Mike invited me to lunch downtown on top of a parking garage. It was that fateful day that I was introduced to my new neighborhood, the Rotary Club of San Jose. Since joining Rotary, I've spent more time than ever with my San Jose neighborhood. Some of those neighbors I just see at meetings, some I grab a beverage with, some I've gone to Burning Man with, some are at our home for the holidays, and some have truly become our family. Today, I'm grateful for amazing neighbors and this Rotary Club.
Move along there, big boy. What are you doing? Well, this is especially a grateful day for me. The Ellenberg family, thank you very much for that recognition, and to Doe for the friendship and all the good projects we have. My thanks today really go to all of you Rotarians for making my life richer over the past 20 years. As I march into my 80s, my thoughts gravitate to family and friends who make life enjoyable and consequential. These are the people that fill up my days in retirement, keep me mentally and emotionally active, and make life more meaningful. Last month, our speaker talked about addressing Alzheimer's and noted that it was very important to have social engagement to stave off brain decline. And for full-bore human immersion, nothing beats San Jose Rotary Club for immersion, and that's why I'm grateful to you as a club. You make club experiences rewarding, especially all those who guide us. That's the volunteers, the officers, and our wonderful staff. And special call out to Marie. Special thanks also to John Kennett, who's not here. Maybe he's on the Zoom, but John also made life much more full during his years. When I returned to my hometown in 2003, that's 20 years ago, my best friend, Roy Russell, who Steve kindly mentioned, sponsored me in Rotary, in membership, to help me reintegrate into my hometown. But he said there's a minimum amount of activity you've got to live up to. One of them is weekly luncheons, business attire, a lapel button, financial contributions, and participation in 2 committees. He said, yeah, a lot of other stuff goes on in the club too, and that's not really necessary. Holiday events, foreign travel, firesides, occasional volunteer days and all that. But the main thing is you got to come to the meetings and pay your dues. Well, it didn't take long for the ancillary stuff, that is the non-necessary, the non-obligatory, to become central to club life. Roy took us to Vietnam for wheelchairs, as Steve mentioned. We helped school kids catch trout on fish day. We invented international feasts in our ISC. And my wife and I took a bunch of Rotarians to Panama to deliver 500 wheelchairs about 5 years ago. So I say my wife because she took part in many of these activities, and she's my partner in all this. I've had different advice for those people that I've sponsored to Rotary. I say be careful not to overcommit, because Rotary can be all-absorbing. It's like the tar baby in the Uncle Remus stories. Now, not everybody remembers that, but if you don't look up Uncle Remus in Google, it's the sort of the tar baby. If you hit him, you can't disengage, and that's the problem with Rotary. If you get engaged, sometimes you can't get out of all your obligations. And I think Matt Robin is one of the guys who probably is overcommitted, but bless you, Matt. Volunteerism infuses every aspect of Rotary. We volunteer, we join, we engage, we contribute, we lead, wholly on our own initiative. Our rewards are simply the satisfaction for improving our many communities and the esteem of our friends and colleagues. So on this Thanksgiving, gobble, gobble, gobble.
We've all had people in our lives that we can credit for helping us to become the people we are today. Most of us would credit our parents, maybe a friend or two, maybe a teacher or a boss. But in my case, the individual that I am, you got that fork handy? The person I'm most thankful to is my wife of 44 years, Kathy Prouty. I was the oldest of 6 kids. I had 4 sisters and a brother, and our German-raised mother made us boys feel like the world revolved around us and that we could do no wrong. To say that that contributed to my being self-centered would be a gross understatement. After Kathy and I moved to the South Bay, we started attending church. I thought that it might help if I would pray when we got into arguments. The first time that I got an inkling that I might be wrong in my attitude was when I was praying. I went from praying, Lord, please help her to understand where I'm coming from. This is the truth. To praying, Lord, please help me understand where she's coming from. And it was like a miracle, like instantaneously. Her voice went from being really irritating to sounding pleasant and reasonable. I'd like to say that that one instant marked a wholesale change in our relationship, but sadly it did not. The reason I am so thankful to Kathy is because she didn't give up on our relationship. She continued to put up with me. Over and over again, she patiently tried to help me understand how my attitudes and actions were wrong, and then even pig-headed at times. Slowly, I began to see the wisdom in what she was saying. It's still a work in progress, and it probably always will be, but I see our relationship growing stronger daily. Thank you, Kathy. For showing me grace and being such a loving wife.
This is Tudo. My parents have 12 children, 3 boys and 9 girls. I am their 8th child. The Doe sisters is what people call us, the 9 girls from the Doe family. We grew up together and all went to the same prestigious girls' high school in Saigon. All of us pursued high education and crossed dangerous oceans to finally find peace and calm and call America our home. Today, we each have different professional careers. We got married and have our own families. And now most of us have a different last name, except me, I still keep my maiden name. Despite all the changes in life after marriage and having children, our sisterhood bond is still as strong as ever. We meet monthly on Zoom to catch up and chat, and our whole family reunites in person annually on the Thanksgiving weekend. I'm very proud of my sisters for how we have stuck together through every obstacle and for everything we have always cared for everyone in the Doe family. For example, we sent money home in Vietnam to help relatives when they were staying back and lived in hardship. We collectively contributed to a saving account for our parents to have some money as soon as they arrived in America. We paid for a full-time caregiver for our sister when she was terminally ill. And we supported our young nephew when my brother passed away and left him nothing. There's a Vietnamese saying that goes, "Chị ngã em đau," which means when a sister falls, the other sisters feel the pain. I'm very proud of the Doe sisters for being very strong, generous, supporting, open-minded, and kind. I'm thankful for everything they have done for the society, for the Doe family, and for myself. Thank you.
Last year, when Lenore asked me to speak on this Day of Gratitude, I couldn't do it. I was swimming in grief at that time. The pandemic had shattered my family. The depth of my teenage kids' pain was palpable. Everything they cared about, roller derby, musical theater, school, friends, had disappeared in an instant. And I had to figure out how to navigate their lives. Eating disorders, drug addiction, mental illness, dropping out of school, running away from home. Our 17-year-old child lived on the streets for a terrifying 5 months. I struggled with parenting, unsure for the first time whether I could trust my mothering instincts anymore. My mom's dementia worsened dramatically during the pandemic. I had to figure out how to support my aging parents, especially after my mom had a stroke. I was really scared of losing my mom. She was my trusted advisor at a time when I felt like I needed mothering. And yet, here I stand, filled with gratitude. My son used the isolation of the pandemic to focus on learning to play guitar. He's become a successful musician. He's deeply embedded in the lively live music scene here in San Jose. He's filled with joy again, creating music and performing. I am grateful. My daughter managed to graduate high school. She adopted a dog. She's really committed to her recovery, and last month she celebrated 1 year clean and sober. A future seems possible again. Yeah. A future seems possible again. I am grateful. My mom still likes to work in the garden. When I visit, she holds my hands and she rubs my hair. Her mama love shines bright. Together, we are present for moments of joy. I am grateful. During the pandemic, my husband Hugh and I started a morning ritual of having coffee on our front porch. We called it our morning porchy. Our morning porchy creates space for us to support each other, to connect, and to really marvel that we've made it this far. I have a circle of super supportive friends who show up for me. I am grateful. Step by step, one day at a time, we are rebuilding and revisioning our lives. And for that, I am grateful.
Wow, that was incredible. Thank you to everybody who was so transparent and shared their joy and their gratitude and felt so safe being emotional with all of us. And a special thank you to Lenore for really championing this program and honoring her dad's legacy. For those of you, yes. For those of you who don't know my fork trick and might be wondering why we're saying fork, if you create physical pain, it distracts from the emotional pain and allows you to get through a difficult moment. So get your forks if you need to. Third reminder, no Rotary next week. Please enjoy the holidays with your families, and if you show up here, you're going to be super lonely. We'll be back on the 29th. Don't forget to get your new headshot if you need to, and we'll be hearing from new county executive James Williams. Not our James Williams, but the new county executive, so you'll be sure not to want to miss that. And in my final thought for today, when we focus on our gratitude, the tide of disappointment goes out and the tide of love rushes in. Don't forget to be grateful every moment for your health, your well-being, your friends, and your family. Happy Thanksgiving, and I'm very grateful you selected me to be your president. It's one of the great honors of my life. See you next week.